I'm Sandy Oliver, and I'm going to be your instructor for English 111 this semester. And we're also going to be doing the lab or partner class together as well. In the past, I put them together in one Blackboard shell, but we're not allowed to do that anymore. So you're going to have to work between two different shells, and I'm going to try to make it as easy for you as possible. I'll put reminders on the English 111 um, shell about things that are coming up due in the other one, and then you'll have your work to do on that other shell as well. Hopefully it's a little less confusing than that. Anyway, like I said, I'm Sandy Oliver, and I'm going to be your instructor for Writing and Inquiry, English 111. And we are a totally online class, so everything we do is going to be on Blackboard and online, and you can do it when it's convenient for you as long as you do it before the due date. Um, our particular class starts January 10th. Making a fix on my copy here. Um, this is a weird class because we have 3 class hours and 2 lab hours, and so credit hours are 5, which means you're supposed to spend about 2 hours on the lab work every week, and then 3 hours, your first 3 hours, are mine for the classwork. By that, I mean you're going to watch some videos, you're going to do some reading, and then you have your homework. Is to do some writing and some other things like discussion board and a couple of quizzes and things like that. So keep in mind that, like a seated class, we would be in class for about 3 hours a week, and then we go home and do other things. Um, since everything we do is online, sometimes it seems like there's more work in this class than there is in a seated class, but that's not really the case. Anyway, I am Sandy Oliver. I am an adjunct, which means I'm a part-time teacher for Fayetteville Tech and 2 other community colleges. Um, my phone number is on the first page of the syllabus. Ooh, if you haven't printed off the syllabus yet, pause me and go do that and then come back because you're going to need it. Um, Office hours are whenever you email me or text me and I respond. If we need to have a sit down, we need to talk on the phone, that's okay too. Text me first, and then we'll set up a time and all of that. Usually I'm pretty open and available, but there are times when I am working on other classes, and I have a schedule that I like to keep and keep things together so that you guys get your fair treatment, and so do my other students. So keep that in mind. Um, I answer texts as soon as I get them, or as soon as I see them, rather, and I answer emails usually within 24 hours. Um, Sometimes much faster than that, just depends upon when I'm online and when you ask the question. Um, if you're doing your work overnight, anything after 6 p.m. or so, I will talk to you in the morning. I have a family, and we like to have family time, try to keep a balance that way as well. And so keep that in mind. I am not a robot, I am not a computer. I am a person, and sometimes I need to sleep too. So there's that. Um, this course is the first of the college courses that count as far as English classes go towards your degree. Um, Although I think some of you can take English 110, but then you probably wouldn't be in here too. English 111, English 112 is our standard. Counts for college, counts for transfer if you're going that way. Make sure that you have either had English 002 or you don't need it. And there's a course prerequisite. That means this is what you need to have in order to be in this class. And so you have 3 different possibilities there, 4 different possibilities there. There is the English 00, sorry, English 111 and English 011 are companion classes, and they go together. That's why it says there's no co-requisite. They're companion classes there. The course objectives are things that the state of North Carolina has put together for this kind of class. These are the things that we get to do. I would say that you are gaining in experience and confidence in your writing. You know how to use information correctly, cite it correctly, give credit where credit is due. You know how to put together a multi-paragraph um, essay. And a lot of this is things you can already do, but by the end of the class, you'll be able to do it better and easier and with more what we call facility. Okay, it's easier for you. We do have a textbook, and really it's just the handbook, the little Seagull handbook. Um, it's a really good handbook, and it also has the updated MLA 9th edition in it, so that'll be helpful as well. If it doesn't mean anything to you yet, it will. A couple of other things that you need to make sure that your particular browser works with Blackboard. Chrome, Safari, Firefox all work. Sometimes Edge is a little bit weird, but I've had students use it with no problem, but it's not a guarantee. You have Microsoft Office 365 as free as a student, so make sure that you do that, and you can put it on up to 5 devices: your phone, your computer, your laptop, that kind of stuff. You need to make sure that you can sign into things. Chances are, if you're already watching this, you already got that figured out. Make sure that you're saving your work in more than one place, especially if you rely on Google Docs and you're saving everything in the cloud. Make sure you have something either on your hard drive or on a data stick, thumb drive, flash drive, whatever you want to call it. It's never a good idea to put all of your papers in the same place all the time. Back it up, back it up, back it up. That way, if something dies or burps or otherwise gets weird, you still have a copy. My advice to you, honestly, is to hold on to things, either in electronic or hard copy until you get that final grade. That way, if there's something amiss, you'll have a copy and you can get that cleared up really quickly. On page 3, we have things about grades. Fayetteville Tech uses a 4-point scale, but it also uses a 10-point percentage. So you have to have a 90 to get an A, not an 89.8, a 90 to get an A. The other zeros, 80, 70, 60 for other grades. Make sure that you are keeping track of things. There is a little click on the left side on Blackboard that is called My Grades. That'll show you things that are late. It'll show you due dates for upcoming things. And just keep that in mind. Pay attention to emails, pay attention to the announcements on Blackboard. That's how we communicate. Being an online class, I don't get you all sat down in a room at the same time, so I have to rely on you to do what you're supposed to do. You need to pay attention to the directions and look at Blackboard and read your email. And I know email is for old people, but it's also for professionals, and that's what you're trying to become, so kind of get used to it. You have to do things in modes that you might not prefer. Hopefully not all the time, but sometimes we do. Our methods of evaluation, course requirements, we have 2 different kinds of assignments: high stakes and low stakes. Low stakes are things like discussion boards and research journals and that kind of stuff. And I have to fix some of that. Yeah. Anyway, rough drafts of the papers, discussion boards, other work that we do, as far as some assignments like our MLA stuff and just a few other things that way. And those are called low stakes because they're not worth a great deal of your grade individually. They shouldn't be too stressful, and they're practice for the most part. The high stakes assignments are the final drafts of the major papers, the research paper, the public piece, the topic memo, and Research Journal 1. Okay, so there's a lot of things on here that you have to think about. Okay, so we have a 60% high stakes and a 40% low stakes, um, which is the standard for most college work. Now, when you get up into, if you're going to university, if you're transferring, a lot of times those classes will be 70/30, or even less on the low stakes work. Um, Departmental policies, we have an academic integrity and plagiarism piece. Make sure that you're not recycling papers from other courses. If you've taken English 111 before and either dropped or um, failed the course and you are retaking, you cannot use any of that work. You have to start again. Um, that's just how it works in college. How do I know stuff like that? Depends upon whether or not your other instructor or you have had things put into I just lost the name of it, what they're called. Anyway, we have a plagiarism detector thing on Blackboard assignments, and sometimes it's just because it doesn't sound like you. The other part is plagiarism, if it's deliberate, you go to a website and you buy their paper, or you copy and paste, and it's not your work. Don't do that. That's not English 111 at Fayetteville Tech Community College should not be your last um, college experience, right? Um, if you plagiarize like that, you will definitely get a 0 on the assignment. You could fail the class. You could be put on academic probation, and you can be expelled from the university, from the college. Um, just depends upon how many times you've done this before. Okay, so don't panic. Do your own work, do your work with integrity, and it'll all be fine. And there's a list of things there. Okay, so I went through all that stuff on page 4. Oh, I do take late work. Um, I take off 10% for things that are late. And then you have a week or so to make that up, and before it turns into a real 0. Um, if you're going to, if you know, if you know you're going to be late with something, send me an email. Let me know, hey, I had to go out of town because my mom is sick, or I had to go out of town because the military told me to. Um, we have a lot of soldiers in Fayetteville Tech, and I thank you for your service. I thank you for your dedication. I know that sometimes you don't have a choice, and sometimes you don't have, well, you rarely have a choice. And sometimes you don't get any more notice than a phone call, a recall phone call. Um, Keep me in the loop as much as you can, and we'll work things out. But you got to let me know. Um, and your superior officer should know that you are in classes, and they know that there's a protocol as well. So um, I'm not against getting an email from your CO saying, hey, my soldiers are out on some sort of training exercise, or God forbid, we've been deployed somewhere and they're not going to be back for months, or they're going to be back next week or whatever. That's fine. Make sure that they have your instructor's emails and that they know that we need to at least be on the, hey, they didn't drop off the face of the planet. They are actually somewhere else. So keep me in the loop, and that goes for everybody. If you get hit by COVID, whether it's you or a family member, and you need to be out on quarantine or whatever, most of the time that's good news for your schoolwork. But if you're ill, and I know, this coronavirus can pack a wallop, just keep me in the loop as much as you can. Again, family members should know, hey, if I'm ill, you need to contact my instructors. Um, Contact the college, let us know. We work with you as much as we possibly can. Let's see. Once we hit that, once we hit that last day of you can drop, which is usually sometime the end of April, Um, I can't take late work after that. Well, I take late work up until the last day usually. But there's a policy that I can't um, negotiate things after that. So if we get to that point and you still have a lot of work to make up for whatever reason, we may negotiate it incomplete. Um, I will warn you before the deadline that you can drop, and there are all kinds of ways we can help you. We know that, again, military deployment or training, coronavirus, and then the normal stuff that gets in the way of life, um, it all makes an impact. And sometimes it's more important than school. School can't always lose, but I know there are lots of things going on in your life, and sometimes they're more important than school. And so late work is a thing. There are lots of things that I wish I didn't have to deal with. I'm sure you have the same kind of list, different items, but we're all in this together. And if we work together and we're honest with each other, we can get things done that we wouldn't think otherwise. You can request an extension. I am more than happy to grant those as much as possible. If there is some assignment that goes against your religious convictions, let me know and I'll be happy to give you a different assignment. Um, Sometimes that's not possible, but I've never really had any of that go on. I try really hard to keep everything G and PG rated, and so I don't think I have that kind of issue most of the time, but I'm not saying it's not possible. If you have problems, um, if I've done something to offend you or you think I've treated you unfairly, talk to me. That's your first line. Send me an email. Hey, I really didn't like the way this came down. Can we talk about this? Great. If you and I can't come to a resolution, then we get the program coordinator in on that, either Penny Jacobs or Sarah Bruton. If that doesn't work, then we have our dean. Um, and Miss McCrae Dr. McCrae, sorry, is amazing, and I can't imagine, that she couldn't figure things out for us. So keep all that in mind. I know, keep everything running around your head as if you don't have enough in there already, but there we go. We have a few other things on page 6. The title 6, 7, and 9, Non-Discrimination, Americans with Disabilities Act. If you had an IEP in high school, you can get accommodations, and even if you didn't, you can get accommodations here so that you can do your best work. And it doesn't show up on your transcript. There's no note, there's no anything. You just get your grades like everybody else. So don't let that kind of get in your way. The other thing is the only changes I can make to the syllabus are things like my office hours and stuff like that. The schedule changes, if we run into trouble, or if I've put something up and I'm wrong, I will make the change and then make a note of it on announcements. So check your Blackboard announcements. I send out a weekly announcement that says, hey, here's what you're supposed to do this week. You can print it off and make it into a to-do list. You can just sync it to your calendar, however you want to work on that. Okay. Last page, page 7, is an outline. Here are things we're going to do. These are the major pieces in each of those modules. Our class is set up in modules, not weeks, and then I try to give you the schedule in weeks in the announcements. So whichever way you work better, you have it. You have these 8 modules. The first one and the last one are really short and not a lot to do in those. The rest of them, we have some work to do. And so there are some basic due dates there. We are, I said April. I'm sorry, we're an 8-week course. And so we're done in March, and then You can go on and take English 112 in the next half and be done with your English classes, or not, and wait till next semester. That's fine. The 8-week courses, we are head down and running. It is the same course that I teach in 16 weeks, but it's smushed into 8 weeks, so you're double timing. Keep in mind that things change really quickly, not as in I'm going to change everything up, but each week is a whole different ball game, and so make sure that you are paying attention and checking your email and writing things down. I will have for you a list on Blackboard um, to kind of keep things together. The other thing I needed to talk about, and I'm going to make another little video for the lab class, and I call it a lab because most of the stuff we're doing is kind of reinforcement and help to get you into the other things that we're doing in the regular English 111 class. This semester, it will be a separate shell or a separate click on your Blackboard class list. So English 011 is a lab class, a companion class to English 111. And I have worked this out so that all of those assignments are going to be due on Mondays. And so I try really hard not to have things for the regular English 111 class due on Monday. I think there's one exception to that when we're doing the outline. Yeah, the responses are going to be due on Monday. One other thing before I get to that. I count the week as a 4-day week, Monday through Thursday. Couple reasons for that. One, a lot of businesses have gone to a 4-day week. And part of the reason for that is our major religions here in the United States have for their holy days Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And so I try to make it so that my students do not feel like they have to work on their holy day. I know a lot of my compatriots have everything due Sunday night. Sunday happens to be my holy day, and I try really hard to take a break from things. So it's not fair for me to tell you everything's due on Sunday and I'm not going to be online. My default is Thursday night at midnight, 11:59 p.m. And that's so that nobody feels like they have to work or that I expect them to work on their holy day. Now, if you are only able to work on classes on the weekends, make sure you're doing things the weekend before they're due, not after. That the after part is going to get you in trouble the further along we go in the semester. So make sure that you're doing your work ahead of the schedule, that you're getting things in on time. That's a big part of being a grown-up, of being a professional, and we reward you for that kind of stuff. Okay, back to the lab class. Our course is going to have some things due on Monday. All of those things you're going to turn in on the English 011 shell for Blackboard. And I know it's going to happen to everybody at least once. You're panicking because you can't find where the assignment goes, and you're in the wrong shell. Take a breath, look at the top, make sure that it says, English 011, or as applicable, English 111, and you'll be fine. If you're really panicked and you can't figure things out, just send it to me in an email. It's not a big deal. Okay. Anyway. I'm going to make like I said, I'm going to make a little video for the lab part 2. So you'll have to pop over and see that, but that gives you kind of an update on what's going on there. So let me know if you have questions. We have a few things to do this first week. Make sure that you're doing the enrollment, what is it called? I think it's just called the syllabus quiz, orientation quiz, whatever. Make sure you do that as soon as possible. You have to do it by the census date, which for us is the 13th. It's very early on in the term, and because we don't have very long to go, we're 8 weeks and we're done. So make sure you do that this week, get it done, and then work on other pieces of the class. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you're not too confused. Make sure that you walk back through your syllabus and make some notes for yourself. Put some things on your calendar, however calendar you use, whether that's on your phone or paper planner. I'm a paper planner person, so I understand that too. Hang in there, ask questions, email me. It's all good. I hope we have a great semester. I hope we have a great term and we'll get things done and you'll learn a lot, and I will too. So have a great day. See you later.